strong team, so I was, hoping to get some people motivated to try their best. I said, if you win one or two, well, let me rephrase that. If you get 1 point or better, I'll make videos, as long as they're not 2 draws. And 2 draws, you have to win one. You can win 2, win 1, and a draw. If you win 1 and lose 1, I'll do a video of the win. So that was my deal, try to get people to do better. So these are played by, by correspondence chess, through the system, without postcard, of course. But you have up to 3 days to make a move. So we have the King's Gambit accepted. I'm not sure if this is the best choice. I think d6 is main line, g5 is playable. So white should be able to build a pawn center here. And he doesn't do it. Okay. Now this seems kind of strange, because the queen is blocking the bishop. See, for instance, well, you can't really play this. d4 is coming. But, this just seems to block the bishop. It doesn't seem to help black's game. And now, probably smart to castle, because if the knight takes, we can take back. The queen takes, and we pin the queen against the king. So he doesn't do that. So black could take this pawn. And he doesn't. Okay, why doesn't he take this pawn? That's the question. Correspondence game, we want to ask these questions. Okay, one thing white might try is knight here. Maybe that's the refutation. See, we're on the queen, so like,
check.
If they do this discovered check, well, let's see. Both sides are dropping their queen here. Let's put the king here. Now if takes,
check.
Oh, it's we can't go to f2. We can't allow him to take with check. Okay, my mistake. Now we can take this. Okay. Once we take that, let's see. Black is winning a piece here. Black has all of his pieces, and this knight does have a trip out of there, at least for now. Let's see, take this. Now they're attacking the knight. So the knight could take. Now the knight's stuck. He's stuck. He doesn't have a way out. But black is picking up a lot of pawns here. Let's see. So I think it's a mistake to take this, because now we're going to drive that bishop. Bishop can't stay on both squares. But it's still touch and go here. The knight's not under attack, but if he goes here, he still doesn't have a retreat. This is very, very strange. In correspondence chess, you're supposed to take your time and evaluate it. Unfortunately, a lot of people who play correspondence chess don't sit and work through the lines, and you're not going to succeed at correspondence chess unless you do otherwise. So my first feeling is that black can take this. See, what I was saying is that what white should do is castle. Now this pawn is safe. As I explained, we just pin the queen. So, d4, I believe black can take this. And, suddenly black is 2 pawns ahead. If you take,
check.
We're taking with check. Now, okay, let's see. We could play king here to threaten to go here. But I think black has resources. Let's see. If anything, black could play king d8. But black could also play bishop e7. Now when we attack the queen, now black can make a threat. I'm sorry, white can make a threat with queen e2. The threat is to take this knight and then deliver checkmate if the bishop is recaptured. Okay, so, but at the same time, white has paid a price of 2 pawns to get to this position. I don't think he has enough. Now let's see. Black could get ambitious here. Let's try this. Black is going to make a sacrifice for development. Okay, now, let's see. I don't think black got enough for this.
Check.
We're picking, white's got too many, still has a majority of pieces here. Okay, so but we got to look. And if we don't look, we can't evaluate. So, like I say, black still has king d8. That breaks the pin. Now, it's true this guy can't castle. Now, let's see. We can generate similar ideas. Now the threat is a back rank mate. We don't even need to eliminate this unless black plays bishop e7. Then bishop takes knight would be good, but black could play, of all things, he could play bishop d6. Not a great place for his bishop, but effectively keeps these squares under black's control, and at the same time it, for now, hangs on to this pawn. So, it's not a 1-0 bullet game. It just popped up. I think black is clearly better here. So right now, I don't think either side is playing this game well, because I think black can just simply take this pawn. Okay, so this doesn't help black. Obviously, this was the move to make. Now white should definitely capture or come back to d3. Those are the choices. If you capture, you're providing a temporary protection to e4, and then black recaptures. Then you go get your king castled and protect your pawn through the threat of the pin. Okay, now white should castle. Now here, the remarkable thing about this move is white's not even attacking the knight here. It's illegal to take it. So, he's defending his pawn by putting it out of danger of direct capture, but there's no threat here. Now, granted, even though white's not threatening to take this, black can go, say, create a pin. Now white can castle. Now this is a threat, but this knight does have a safe square to go, and I'm preferring black here a lot. Black's not only a pawn up, he's holding on to this pawn here. He's got the d5 square. Now white could get it back, right? But I think black can just safely castle queenside here. Material is even. Black has the bishop pair. So, e5 didn't help white at all. Castling is the move. Again, this is protected. And we trap the queen. So they're not being careful here. Hi, Dad. My dad is here watching Bill Vinca. Okay, so my dad, the former Navy SEAL, dove with Charles Lindbergh's son around the time of shortly after the Korean War. Okay, so this doesn't threaten anything, and he didn't have to move it, but he did. I'd like the idea of a pin. Get ready to castle if you need to run for the hills. Okay, so now white can pick up this pawn, but that's okay. I was looking at that already. And now just pin this knight, we reach the same position that I was talking about.
Check.
Okay, well now he does this option. This seems to win a pawn. Although black has nothing really developed here. Okay, black has won a pawn. c3 is under attack. Okay, guys, this is fine. And this, these pawns here, they're interfering with white's pieces. So, white's in trouble here. He's in danger of losing a pawn on c3, and so he has to retreat bishop d2. Now black should just develop. Now, I will go for this move. Okay, and as an alternative, bishop e7 and prepare to castle this direction. Okay, this is fine. And it wouldn't be a bad idea at all to castle. Okay, so advantage black right now. And I don't see this as helping white any. The idea is he's going to try to attack down here. This was another reason why black should have pinned that knight. Black could take the knight, and see the bishop on d2, it's overloaded. It's guarding two squares. It can't guard them both. Black can collect a pawn here. Let's see what happens. He does. And he does. So, white's up 2 pawns. C7 could be in a little bit of danger. Rook C1. The queen doesn't have a whole lot of places to retreat, but she could come back to A5. Let's see what happens. There he goes this direction. Now, white would like to generate some kind of an attack. One idea would be maybe offer a a piece sacrifice. Let's see what he does, and we'll look at my idea. Okay, now there's no rule that says black has to take, but if black does, we're gonna take this pawn, and black is close to delivering a checkmate here, or white is close to delivering a checkmate here. Doesn't have it yet, but he's close. The threat is to play queen here, check, and mate. So what's black going to do? Well, he needs a little defense. Let's slide the king over in the corner. Okay. Now, let's do what I said. Okay. Now let's bring this over here. And now I'm going to play this move anyway. Okay. Now, black should clog up the E file. The reason is, we don't want a rook penetrating down here and maybe somehow deflecting this rook away. Now suppose white plays here. Now his idea is to shift over here and try to mate down here. Well, looks like black has resources. I don't think white's getting his mate. So, but we have to look at this. We don't want to reach this position and then see this move played against us and find that no matter what we do, we're checkmated. Okay, so this is what correspondence chess is all about. They call it daily chess at chess.com. I don't know why they did that. It's correspondence chess. It's what's been called for 100 years or longer. But we have to examine this possibility. Again, we don't want to be embarrassed. So, but white doesn't have to do this. He's not geared to go after h7 this direction because the bishop is on h3. The black bishop covers h3. What did white do? White played here. Now, that does clear the back rank, but it looks like it might allow bishop g4 winning the exchange. He doesn't do it. Okay, so I'm a little disappointed in the quality of play here. It doesn't matter, the ratings are low. Unless both sides are sitting here like they're playing 500 games or 50 games. They log in, they see they got 10 replies. They open them up, they look at one, play a move, look at another one, play a move, and don't put any thinking time. They're going to have a disaster on their hands. So, there's no excuse for black not seeing this move. There's no excuse for white not seeing this move. We see the same pattern with in correspondence chess that we do in these 45-45 games. We see one side accumulating more time than they started with. And the number one reason you're losing games is because you're moving too fast. So, here, black should have a relatively simple win with bishop g4. He's going to win the exchange. So what should white have done? Well, could have played here. Now this does have, ideas of putting the bishop here and then capturing down here. Now I have to believe that black has resources here. Let's put the bishop here. Now we can answer this move with this move. Now queen, well, wait a minute. No. Yeah, now this is a threat. Okay, so maybe white will play something, he'll try for an attack. He'll say, you can win my bishop, but I'll win it back. But I think that black is getting more than enough pawns here. Black is now ahead, what, 4 pawns, believe it or not? So, white, but we have to make sure there was no attack here. Black starts out 2 pawns ahead, could have won the exchange and didn't. And now he does try my idea. And, now here, this is not thinking. What's protecting this pawn? Well, this pawn, but not if you move the bishop. You just take it. Okay, so, clearly black is not paying attention. This is how you do not want to play correspondence chess. You want to learn chess. You play correspondence chess because then you get to analyze, as I'm doing. If you're just looking at a move and playing it, you're going to get clobbered. Okay, so now to stop the threat, he throws a piece away. I mean, my goodness. You could swallow. You could play this, and now here, black has one pawn compensation for the exchange. I mean, white still has an attack. He can still try to open up black's position, but black has these extra pawns, and he's just throwing stuff away. And now queen takes mate as a threat. I got that in. Okay, I guess I missed that. His move set up a discovery, trading bishops. But black is only a pawn ahead now. Okay, so the queen runs down here, and you got a little bit of danger here. Black could always play back here, but he's probably going to drop his c pawn on an exchange. Let's see what happens. Comes down here and attacks this with check. Okay, that's logical. Except, well, let's see. We're going to get it. We're going to get this in. We're going to be able to take this with check. Okay, he doesn't. I mean, this just lets the queen come back here and keep protection of the pawn. I mean, this move is strong. He can't take this because he's going to drop a rook. I mean, guys, I just can't believe the level of play here. Okay, now if you go here, black can take.
Check.
And you need to trade queens. And once again, black is ahead of pawn. He has a 3-to-1 pawn majority on the queen side. These pawns are going to be advancing, and they're going to create problems for white. I mean, this is a winning game for black. I guess he looks at it. C6 protects my pawn on B7. Well, you don't care about the pawn on B7 because if you look a little further, you're just winning a rook. So if you don't analyze, you can't win. Okay. Now he's threatening a mate down here. Now he's threatening mates here and here. How does black avoid this? Looks like a big whoops. Amazing. And that just allows a mate in one.
Checkmate.
So, black proceeds to lose a game he should have won. Remarkable. Okay. All right. Well, that was that game.